Welcome back to the Immigration Answers Show. My name is Jim Hacking, James Oliver Hacking III, immigration lawyer practicing law throughout the United States, out of our offices in St. Louis, Missouri, San Diego, California, and our nation's capital, just down the street from the White House, Hacking Immigration Law, LLC. I'm here with my good friend, Daxel, a.k.a. Steve, a.k.a. Daniel. Daniel hasn't been here for a while. I kept moving around the show last week, and Daniel had appointments because he's a busy man. And Daniel, I'm glad you're here with us.
I'm happy to be here, Jim. Thanks for having me.
Hey, I've been meaning to tell you that my son
Yeah.
Ibrahim watched a movie that you really liked called The Last Black Man in San Francisco.
Oh,
I have yet to watch it, but he said it was
oh,
fantastic and that it made him cry. So I need to check that out.
oh, I just love that movie, Jim. I hope you get to see it.
Okay, for sure, for sure. Oh, look, everyone's happy. The Daniel's here. Everyone's glad. Look at all the comments. Hey, Daniel, did I tell you who came on the show yesterday?
Who?
Fatuma. We haven't seen her in a while. She was
Wow.
watching, and I asked, where is Fatuma? And there she was. So
You
we were
put the
glad
word
to.
out.
Yes, it was like a smoke signal. She came right on. It was like the bat signal.
Yeah,
I
that's
thought
awesome.
that since she was our client now that she wasn't going to call me anymore, but she's such a happy person. We have
Yes,
we have a
yes.
very important question, and that is, does Daniel have a new haircut?
I don't think so. I appreciate the question, but I've been cutting my hair since the pandemic and kept doing it. So it's pretty much the same.
Cutting it
So,
yourself?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, that looks pretty good.
Thanks. That was my biggest concern when everything shut down. Like, how am I going to cut my hair?
Nice. Well, we're getting lots of comments. Everybody's letting us know where they're watching from. So many of our usual friends. It's great to see. Rocio's here. Monique, Suzik. We got Samara in Nairobi. Wee Woo's always saying hello to me and Noor from Fort Myers. TK's in San Francisco. Octa's in Charlotte. We got Arnold in Illinois. Nathan in Seattle saying hello to you and to I, Daniel. We have Jamaican in Chicago, Monique, and we have people in Maryland, Columbia, South Carolina, West Palm Beach, New York City. We had someone from Alaska yesterday, Daniel. That was pretty fun. We don't
Wow,
get
wow.
many viewers in Alaska, but the other thing that we got to get up and running is TikTok, because I just threw this live into TikTok yesterday. I got to figure out a way to incorporate TikTok into the show. Speaking of TikTok, if you're not following us, go ahead and give us a follow at Immigration Hacking, at Immigration Hacking. So instead of hacking immigration, immigration hacking. All right. Well, I will post the comments or post the link to come on the show if people have a question, and then we'll go from
Awesome.
there. Do you have anything for
Jim,
me,
people are
Daniel?
loving your new videos. Tell us about your new videos. People are loving it. So
Oh,
me too.
well,
Yeah.
yeah. So we hired a new videographer. We haven't really had one since Kent left. Were you here with Kent, or was he gone by the
Nope,
time you
nope.
came? Yeah. So we hired this guy, Justin Maldonado's his name. He's terrific. He and I just shot 2 new videos yesterday. One of them is on. What were they on? They were real good too. I'm looking forward to them. One was on. I'll think of it and I'll let
When
you
will
know.
they
But
drop?
they'll
Let us
drop
know.
Friday. So Friday. So the idea is that the show is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then the videos will drop at noon on Friday. I know you were asking me on Friday, hey, where's that video? Justin thought 6 o'clock would be better, but I think 5 o'clock is the way to do it.
Okay. Well,
Um,
yeah, I was excited to see. So
yeah, looks like Jason's visiting St. Louis. That's good to see.
awesome. Happy to have you here, Jason.
Yeah, I'll be at the game tomorrow night. They're playing the Orioles tomorrow. So Yusuf comes home from college tomorrow, and we're going to go see the Cardinals take on the Orioles, which is my favorite American League team, because we have the St. Louis Browns moved to Baltimore and became the Orioles. Now, a couple of things coming up. Number one is that I am to be reminded to ask all of you to check out our giveaway on Instagram, and that is, I know that sounds like sort of presumptuous, but if you go to that link that Ramel just posted, you and I can talk for a half hour about whatever you want. You want life advice? I'll be giving it to you.
To be
You
honest,
want
Jim, I was thinking of getting in on that giveaway. Like, I'd like to have half an hour with you. Just me.
well, we can do that anytime, but You want to talk about politics, man? Today we got going on this abortion decision that's coming. We were our friends our team down in Argentina was like, "What in the hell's going on up there?" They wanted to know about that, all kinds of stuff. So whatever you want to talk about for a whole half hour, you have my undivided attention. If you go over to that Instagram link that Romel did, that's one thing I'm supposed to remind you of. The other thing I'm supposed to remind people of, Daniel, is that our 200th show is coming up. I don't know. I think we have about 10 more shows. Yeah, 10 more shows before we get to our 200th show. And when we do our 200th show, we're going to do it a little bit differently. We're not going to take questions that day. What we're going to do is we're going to ask everyone to come into the waiting room and to give their best piece of advice to new immigrants. And we're actually going to send this to our new clients as they come to the United States, right? So this will be, and we want everyone thinking about, boy, what do I wish I knew before I got on that plane to come to the United States? Daniel, sometimes I'm lucky enough to speak at a naturalization ceremony, and I always ask the audience, the people that are just about to be sworn in to become citizens, I always ask them to sit back and close their eyes for a second and think about that moment when they closed the airplane door or whatever way they came to come to the United States. Like, think about all the people that thought that they weren't going to be able to succeed in the United States. Think about all the people that thought that they would not be able to make this work. And then also to send good thoughts to the people that supported them, all the people who had their backs, all the people that gave them money or support or emotional support as they left. Because, I'm a strange duck. I have an immigration firm with 45 people that work here. I live 10 minutes from where I grew up. I'm like the wimpiest guy of all time, right? Like I lived in Denver for 6 months of my life. Other than that, I've lived in St. Louis my whole life. Now, I want to live more in San Diego, but even that, San Diego is not like Amani being uprooted when she was 7 to come to the United States, or about her mother who sold all of her gold to have the money to come to the United States. So people like to say, "Oh, Mr. Jim, he tells it like it is. Oh, Mr. Jim, he's so tough." I'm a wimp compared to you guys. I'm a wimp when it comes to uprooting myself and betting on myself to succeed in a whole new country where, as we know on this show, the cards are stacked against you, right? So I can't wait for our 200th episode because I want to hear a lot of people I want to hear from people who've been through the process, who have all kinds of advice, whether it's immigration advice. I'd probably like to stay away from that. I'm talking about real life advice. Like, oh my God, I can't believe the first time I went to a grocery store, like what in the hell that looked like. Or, I never knew about security deposits, right? Or I didn't know any of these things. What does that look like? And what kind of advice do you have for people? We want to actually be able to record it and send it to people who are just starting out, and to see what kind of suggestions we have, because we know we'll get a lot of good suggestions that we never would have thought of. And we're going to let people email us ahead of time with those suggestions if they can't make the show. But what will really make the show hum is if people come on, especially our friends who are always here, like Vadim and Rocio and, everybody, hearing them give advice to our friends like Fatuma who are coming here for the very first time. That'll just be a really fun show, I think.
Well, Jim, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about that. That sounds very emotional and very great. And I remember when I first started watching one of your presentations at a naturalization ceremony. It's just a beautiful thing to see. So
yeah.
Well, that's great, Jim. I
get to
appreciate
it?
you sharing all that information.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, what do you think? Shall we get started, or anything
Let's
else
do
on
it.
your mind you want to get out there?
No, how about you?
No, I'm good. Except I realized with these late starts, like the other thing is like I looked fine in the morning, and then like the the shit, like,
Yeah.
oh man, now I need to shave.
I have a razor and shaving cream that I keep here, and for when, like, if I don't shave the day before and then I come in at 4 o'clock, it's no good. But
Yeah.
you look fine.
All right, cool. All right. Well, Q, thanks for being here. How can we help you?
Hi, thank you for your time. Can you hear me?
Sound great, Q. Go right ahead.
Okay, sure. So I have a question. It's actually based on something that you told someone else in the previous show. It's about an expedite request for a person who's going through the I-130 process with an overseas spouse, like an expedite request based on like being a healthcare worker or something like that, like maybe a work. Like hypothetically, do you think it's worth trying that since the COVID is getting a little worse? What do you think?
I definitely think it's worth a shot. I just don't want people to get their hopes up. So, the
Sure.
thing about expedite requests is you're asking to go ahead of the line of other people. I think a healthcare worker should be at the top of the list. I think expedited requests should be granted when necessary, but so many people think that they should jump ahead in the line that it sort of defeats the whole purpose. So it's almost like when when you take a plane ride and you land in the new city, there might be people in the back of the plane who want to like run to like go catch their other plane. Like if they have a real extra other plane, they should get off the plane first. Otherwise, it sort of has to
Right.
be orderly. So I'm totally comfortable with it. It doesn't cost anything to do an expedite request. So if it's truly urgent, and like if there's a job lined up and you could come to New Jersey and help people in Orange, New Jersey, be treated better, then I think you make that pitch. I'd try to document it. I try to show that there's a reason why and that you have a job lined up. Maybe get a letter from the potential employer as to how you're going to use your medical background at this new job. But yeah, it's certainly worth a shot. Just you never know what's going to happen.
Sure. So lastly, what if this case has been pending for a while, for like 11 months or so? You think that's too late to ask for an expedite?
No, is it so? It's still at USCIS.
Yes.
Is it
Yes.
an overseas? It's an overseas case.
Yes.
Yeah, 11 months at
Yeah.
USCIS, that's pretty much on the outer banks of how long it should be. So yeah, I no, it's okay to make an expedite request whenever you want. They're not going to hold it against you that you waited too long to ask them to do their job. No.
Right. Because that's the other thing I was going to ask. You think 11 months is starting to get like delayed technically
Mhm.
for.
It's right around what we're seeing. I'd say somewhere right now between 10 and 14 months. So you're right there.
Okay, okay. Okay, and lastly, then I'll let you go. So if a person doesn't have, let's say, a particular job lined up, but they're just like they have a degree in the health, like a nurse with a bachelor's, but not a specific job, do you think it's worth trying, or does the person need to get a specific job lined up to kind of make
I think
the
it's
request, hypothetically?
I think it's worth trying. I think that that's something they're going to have to do when they get here anyway. So why not start now and try to get a little leverage? I think having a job lined up would actually help.
Okay, and this is for the U.S., not the applicant, the U.S. citizen. Yeah. Okay.
The U.S.
Well,
citizen
thank
is
you
a
very much.
healthcare worker.
Yes, the U.S. citizen is a
Oh,
nurse.
oh, then I think they should.
And
Yeah, you definitely want them to have a job, or you need to be able to explain why bringing the spouse here would allow you to do your job better.
right, so it was the same case with the guy you were talking to. The U.S. citizen is with the spouse overseas.
So I'm Jim. I'm a nurse. I have a spouse
Sure.
overseas. My spouse isn't
Right.
here, and I want my spouse to come. Why does bringing my spouse faster help me become a better nurse? I don't know. I don't see that connection right now. Can you tell me?
Mm. Well, the only connection I could think is that the U.S. citizen wants to stay with the spouse overseas. So for them to be
Oh,
able to go overseas, they want the spouse to come with them in order to start working as a nurse. So they need the spouse to be with them. So that's why they need the petition to be sped up so they can both go over to the
so in other
States.
words, they don't want to have to choose between working in America as a nurse and helping other Americans and being separated from their spouse versus going overseas and not being able to do that medical job. Is that what you mean?
Right, right. They don't want to be separated from the spouse, but they want to go and do work medically back in the States. But they don't want to be separated from the spouse. That's why they want the spouse to hurry up
Got
and
it.
come so they
Yeah,
can
you just need to
both.
walk them through it and make it compelling. So if you
Sure.
don't have a job lined up, it's not very compelling. It just sounds like you saying stuff.
Sure. Sure. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jim. Thank you,
Thanks,
Daniel.
Q. See you
Thank
later.
you,
Good luck.
Q. All right, good stuff. Good way to
Yep.
start. Narcisse, awesome shirt, man. I
Thank
like
you so much.
that. Welcome.
Thank you.
Nice.
So basically, yesterday I was just on YouTube and I saw some of your videos, and I tried to call today, and they gave me the link for the live. I just wanted to ask a question. So I came here in the United States on the F1 visa, and my girlfriend, she's also F1. We've been dating for 3 years. We got engaged in December last year. So she won the DV lottery, the diversity lottery. So my question is, we were thinking about getting married before she started the process for the green card application. I just wanted to know, if we get married before starting the application, is it gonna be bad for your case, or is something that can work?
That'll work.
That will work?
There'll be you'll want to demonstrate the relationship, and you'll want to prove it all up, because they're going to
Mhm.
be suspicious
Yeah.
when somebody applies for DV as married, and then when they get selected, and then somebody applies for DV as single, and then they get selected, and then they get married, they get a little suspicious. So you're going to have to prove it up, basically like a regular marriage case, maybe with a little bit of extra.
Yeah. So the other issue that we have is, I got a scholarship for grad school. I'm actually doing my master's, so I moved to Denver, and then she's still back in Kansas. So do you think that's going to be an issue for us?
So that's one of my favorite topics to talk about, Narcisse, which is that you need in those kind of cases, the important factors are, how much time do you actually spend together after
Yeah.
getting married? What do you have legitimate reasons, employment wise or school wise, as to why you're separated? And then you want to document the time. Like if she comes to Denver or you go to Kansas, you want to document all that. And then the biggest thing is, what's the long-term plan? So like early on, when I was a baby immigration lawyer, I had this really strange case where this lady in Baltimore married a guy who was working here in Missouri, and they barely spent any time together. That was hard to get approved. So you really want to document, like if you drive to Kansas to go see her, which you probably will if you're right there, you want to keep a log of all the times that you go. You want to take pictures. You want to basically document it from here until your interview for adjustment based on the DV. So start now. It sounds like you have a good history together before, and then you just need to document it up until that interview.
Yeah, so we need to start the application together, or like she has to start first?
Well, so you're talking about, she got selected for next year's diversity visa?
Well, basically the result that came out just like a couple of days ago, like 2-3 days ago.
Yeah. So here's what'll happen. So I mean, one, I would say you probably want to get married before September 31st. So before October 1st. So you get married in September. In October, what country is she from?
Oh, she's from the Congo.
The Congo. Okay. So the way that the diversity visa works is, everybody has a case number.
Yep.
And the world is divided into 4 regions. So she'll be in Africa, right?
Mhm.
And she might have case number 001, or she might have case 7,812. So in September, if her case is number 1, you and she can apply in October. You and she can apply October 1st for adjustment of status.
Okay.
But if she's number 7,000, then you have to look at the visa bulletin every month to see when her number becomes current.
Okay.
And then you can apply together. Now, I will say this. What you're going to try to pull off is pretty tricky. So you might think about using a lawyer to help you, because you both are going to jump from F1 to 485 green card holders, which is one step below citizenship. You don't want to screw it up when you're this close to getting it. And the higher her number is, the more important it is, I think, that you need a lawyer, right? Because if you don't get it all taken care of by September 30th of 2023, then it's as if she was never selected.
Okay. So it's not September of this year, but it's 2023?
If she just got the results in May of 2022, that means the process will start for her and you October 1st, 2022. This October, it'll start, and then you'll have 1 year to get your green card.
Oh, okay. Because we thought that we only have like from May to September of this year. That's what we thought. We didn't really know how it works.
I mean, this is me not looking at your paperwork, but based on what you're telling me, if you just found out in May of 2022, that means
Yeah.
she's for the next fiscal year, which starts October 1st.
Oh, yeah. So she cannot submit the application before September of this year. No. Okay.
No, and she might not be able to submit it until January of next year, depending on what her line number is.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. We didn't
Yeah.
really realize that. We didn't know that. But is it something that you are comfortable working with, like this kind of case?
Oh, we love diversity visa cases because it's great because we get to help someone like you who's on an F1 getting their master's, and you get to jump over all that other stupid bullshit we talk about on the show all the time, and you get that green card. It's like the real deal.
Oh, that sounds good. Are we trying to call tomorrow and see how we can work on that?
Yeah, we have plenty of time. Plenty of time.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thanks,
Thank
Narcisse.
you. Have a good day.
Thanks, you too.
Bye. All right, good questions there, Jim.
Always happy to talk about diversity visa stuff.
And I feel like the living apart question, like I can just repeat for you because I've heard you answer it so many times. Document everything.
That's an interesting case that they have. There's lots of fun moving parts. And like, I say all the time, when Amani was teaching immigration at the law school, that would be a great exam question. That there's lots of moving parts there.
Yeah. All right. Well, our next guest looks like he's been having fun in the waiting room. Niraj, welcome. How you doing?
Hi, Niraj.
Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. So I have one question. My brother came in the United States on F1 visa in 2019, and he was in the process of pathway to the green card from the EV3 process. He already got his labor certification, but he was about to file the I-485 form. But like 1 month ago, he got arrested for like 2 grams of marijuana. So what is what is there any chance?
Well, I mean, number one, he has to take care of the conviction. Number two, 2 grams is a lot of marijuana when it comes to criminal statutes. So he's going to have to deal with the criminal thing. And then, I'm not a big fan of EB3 green cards.
Yes, sir.
What's the job that he's applying for?
The job is like a food preparation.
Yeah. So, and is this like, are you guys related at all to the people that own the restaurant?
Oh no.
And is he working there while he's going to school?
No, he's not working right now. He's
okay. Well, they're gonna think that he's really working, and they're gonna ask themselves, why would an employer sponsor some kid on an F1 to work at their restaurant for a green card? They think he's here in the. I've had this case before. They're gonna think he's going to school barely, but spending most of his time at the restaurant doing food preparation.
So there is a chance of deny, right?
For sure. They're going to be very suspicious. Add on top the marijuana charge, and you got a tough road to hoe.
All right. Thank you for the information.
You got it, Niraj. See you, buddy.
Thanks, Niraj. Take care.
All right.
All right. Leslie's been in the waiting room just shaking her head. What are you shaking your head about, Leslie?
He's had it with this place. These guys are clowns. They just sit around making jokes all day. You're on mute, Leslie.
Oh, you're on mute.
She's on mute.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There you go. I saw you laughing away.
All right, so this is my question. All right, so I'm married. My husband is a Ghanaian. He's in Ghana. And we are at the NVC process right now. And we're just waiting. So I'm actually about to have surgery in July, but I'm going to Ghana in June. So I was trying to see the way things are going in Ghana. It's like they're not accepting any expediting or nothing. It's like even if you try to do an expedite, they're denying. And so I am a single parent. I don't have any support other than just me. So I was just trying to see, will expediting help our case, or what do we need to do, or we gotta wait 2 years? because we've been in this thing like a little over a year.
When did USCIS approve the I-130?
They approved our I-130 February 1st, 2022.
Yeah, so you're quite some time before he's coming. You can try to make an expedite request, but that's not going to work. He's probably not coming till the middle of next year.
Wow.
Has he ever been married before?
No.
Has he ever tried to come to the United States before?
No.
Okay, well that's good. And then how did you guys meet?
We met online.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, you're just getting started with the State Department. Did you finish everything at the National Visa Center? You're documentally qualified?
I'm waiting on the DQ now. We uploaded everything, I'm going to say March 15th.
Yeah, I think that if you hang out on the show long enough or in the comments, people will give you sort of what the processing times are for Ghana. But for sure, it's going to be the end of this year, even with an expedite request. Like you said, they're going to ignore that even with your surgery.
Well, he have a friend actually too that they have been waiting a lot longer than us. And
Yeah.
his friend had a baby and his wife is here in the States and they've been in it since 2020. And it's like Ghana embassy right now is still working on 2020 cases and we in 2022. So
Right.
that's why I'm like, is we gotta wait 2 years after we wait a year with the US's?
I think so. I wouldn't say 2 years with the State Department, but I'd say a year and a half.
Wow.
It's terrible. It's a joke. They're a joke agency.
Yes, after we done spent our money.
Right. It's terrible.
And it costs a lot of money to go overseas there.
Right. Yep. Yeah. I mean, this is something that Congress needs to hear about. It's a real issue. So,
well,
yeah,
actually, Jim, I had started a petition that I have on the website, and it's also on Facebook. I did start a petition so we can get our voices heard about the Ghana embassy. Just trying to get a lot of people on board with this.
Yeah, put the link to the petition in the comments. Let everybody know. We have quite a following in Ghana, Jamaica, Ghana. Where else, Daniel? Nigeria. We have
Morocco.
Put the link. Yeah, put the link.
I can do that. And what would you suggest? This is my last question. What would you suggest I need to do to collect this evidence since I'm going over in June? That would help our case even more.
Just the fact that you're going is good evidence. So just document the trip. Make sure you keep all that stuff. If you do stuff together, keep a little journal or keep a little itinerary and keep all your receipts. That's all you got to do.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much.
All right.
Thanks, Leslie. Pleasure having you.
All right. Thank you.
Everybody's talking about the merchandise again. We got to get that up and running. That's on the marketing team's list. That is on the list. We have some cool. Let me see. We don't have their idiots hat, but that would be fun. Their idiots hat. We could just what we need. You know what we need, Daniel? We need like a gong. Like when I got my braces off, I got to hit the gong, right? But like when somebody says one of the magic words, I could just run over and hit. Like if we had a really big gong, that would be great.
This would turn into like a real entertaining show with stuff like that.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get to our next. Why don't you go ahead and ask some questions of the next person? I'll pull up the merch that we're thinking about, and everyone can take a look.
Awesome. All right, Sai. Well, thanks so much for waiting, and we're happy to have you. Please tell us your question.
Hi, Daniel. I wasn't sure. I was in the queue. I was just questioning, and I'm suddenly surprised to see myself. So I just got to know about your show and the help you do just yesterday, and I got directed to the live one, and I'm glad I could talk to you today. Thanks for your time. So my question is about day one CPT. I just saw one video of Jim where he's like, no. My situation is that I got my master's in 2017 and I continued on in the same university for my PhD. So I did not use my CPT or OPT for that matter. And now I'm looking to transfer, and I'm having some issues with the PhD, and I'm looking to transfer to a different program where I can get a master's and then look for a job or whatnot. So in that case, is going to a day one CPT university and then working on day one CPT advisable, because I have not used my CPT or OPT till now for the previous one.
My understanding is in USCIS's view, first day CPT is borderline fraud. First day CPT is borderline fraud. That legitimate universities, if you call up Penn State or you call up the University of Texas or you call up the University of Florida, they're not going to give you first day CPT. The places that'll give you first day CPT are like Maharishi University in Iowa or Cumberland University and there's one in Kentucky, right? Transylvania University in Pennsylvania. These are the ones that'll give you first day CPT. And in my position is CPT should only be used for 6 months, and it should be to allow you to do something that everybody else getting a similar degree has to do. So in other words, if I'm getting a computer science master's degree, and as part of the course load at the University of Illinois, everybody has to do a 6-month internship. That's what CPT is for. CPT is not for, hey, I'm going to go to school the last Saturday and Sunday of the month at the university so that I can work full time, because what that sounds like is an end run around the H-1Bs. And that's what USCIS considers it to be. So my feelings on CPT, especially first day CPT, are strong. And I like your idea of getting a master's and then going to work on OPT a whole lot better than first day CPT.
Okay, thank you. And I have another question. So I am from India and my wife, she's from Sri Lanka, and she was here on F1 and she had to go back a couple of years back. So we have been in the long distance, and then we got married last year. But still we are living apart because I couldn't immediately bring her on F2. And also I didn't want to bring her on F2 because, I cannot support both of us. So in the future, say if I convert to H1 and bring her on H4, will there be an issue? Because I just got this question as I was looking at you answering the previous people. So what kind of documentation that I need to do? Because now due to COVID, there was a gap where I met her after 20 months, but we still were, together in the sense, not in person, but we were dating and then we got married. So will that cause an issue in the future or anything?
Will it cause an issue? Yeah, I think it'll cause an issue. I mean, the question is always, what's going on here? What's going on here? That's always the question. What's going on here? And so if 2 years from now, or let's say you go get your master's, that's 2 years. OPT is 1 year, and then you make it in the lottery. And then you sponsor her for an H4. That's 3 or 4 years from now. So if you haven't seen her face to face in 3 or 4 years, that's going to be a big problem. If you go back and see her every 6 months, that's a different thing. So I think that you're setting yourself up for future problems. Whether it's approvable or not, yeah, it's approvable. But whether it's going to be easy, no, I don't think it's going to be easy.
Okay. So I saw that you say documentation. So like whenever I go, the flight tickets or the travel, these things, are those good enough, at least?
Yeah, that and chats that you have now and the ways you communicate and sort of like a rhythm of your life of how you guys stay connected as a married couple.
Okay. All right. I'm not sure about the chats because so what chats to show, what not, right?
Well, how do you talk to your wife?
Chat, and almost every day in the morning and evening we have a call.
Yeah, so take screenshots. You're going to need to develop evidence of a life.
Okay. All right. Great. Okay. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Daniel.
Thanks. I see you, buddy.
Thanks, Sai. Thanks for coming on.
everyone's going crazy in the comments again.
It's been too calm, Jim. People like when you get fired up.
Rosillo's right though. That was like the maddest I ever got. That guy called me like every week, like 2 times a week for like 3 months, and then I got sick of him, and then he called. So let me go ahead and show everybody. Let's see.
Oh, great! Wow, I haven't seen this.
The brand book. You haven't seen the brand book? Oh, okay. Well, let's get to it.
Maybe I've seen a little bit, but
I don't think you have. So this is so we have a great marketing team. Maria Jose Acevedo and Geraldine Mejas. Geraldine, aka G, has a wonderful eye for things, and so this is sort of to make sure that all of our branding is consistent over the different things. So there's our old logo right there. There's the medium logo that we had, and then there's our current logo. And so G does not like our current logo, Daniel, and we're getting rid of it. So she thinks it's confusing. She doesn't like the box around it. She thinks that sort of telegraphs closed off, and we want to talk about open.
Interesting.
And she said it like to her eye. She said, at first I see an I, then I see an L, and then I see an H. Like the H is the last thing that. So I thought that was all interesting. So she wanted something. She and Maho wanted something something clean and modern. So we're switching to it's a much cleaner. You might have seen this in some of the like Instagram posts and things like that. Speaking of Instagram, make sure that if you go to that link that Romel had, that you'll have a chance to talk to me for half an hour about whatever you want. So this is the main logo. It's very nice and clean. We went back and forth. I love the color. So it's just more modern. This is the way it's going to look on white on blue and blue on white. This is the typography that we're going to use for the different. We have a new website coming up in a couple of weeks. It's getting ready to launch. This is the actual color that we're using, the blue, the white, and the gray that we use.
Wow, and everyone's getting a behind the scenes look here. I don't even have access to this stuff. Yeah.
So this is some of the stuff. This is like the really basic stuff. This is just to get an idea what the logo looks like. Now we're going to start sending a box to our clients, Daniel, that has this. So when someone signs up with us, they're going to get this box, and it's going to have our merch inside the box, right?
Wow, that is awesome.
Yep. So it's really awesome. I love it. Now here's some of the merch. We're going to have a bag and t-shirts, and my favorite are these stickers. There's a gym sticker, and We Fight for Immigrants. Great. Isn't that great? A little journal we're going to have for people, and a water bottle, right?
This looks great.
Yep, it does. There's the box itself. Gee, they had much fun using my thumbnails for this. And then awesome. And then the website. So the website, again, G's eye and Maho's eye is tremendous. And they're like, what's with all the aqua? Like aqua's not even our color. So we're moving towards sort of more bigger one, better done for mobile, and lots of faces. So lots of faces to sort of show what we do. Then we're going to have some branding for our email addresses, and that's really it. So we're really excited about it. I think that it's going to be fun for people. Now that's hacking merch, right? So that's hacking. That's hacking merch as opposed to show merch. So we probably need. Let's do a brainstorm later this week. There's a lot of good comments in here about ideas for merch, but we really need to get them on here to sort of write down all these ideas.
Oh, I've seen so many. Just call Rocio. She's got all. Oh my God, her ideas are so good.
That's BS and all that stuff. Yeah, people want that sticker. That's funny. Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, we spent a lot of time talking. I have something else I want to talk about, but maybe we can talk about it on Thursday. Just remind me, Daniel, that the marketing team wanted to ask me sort of what our history is of working with the LGBTQ community. And I want to give a little speech about that because Pride Month is coming up in June. They're already working on our content for June, and they wanted to know sort of what our outlook is on that. But I'll just give you a teaser that we fight for immigrants every day. We fight for every immigrant every day. And there's some immigrants we fight even harder for. So I'm looking forward. I'll share on that. I got a little fired up when they asked me that today. I was actually a little surprised when they asked me. So I'll be glad. I've already talked too much about other stuff, and I know people are waiting to to talk to us. So let's go ahead and get back to it.
All right. Well, Jim, I look forward to that on Thursday. Richard, thanks for your patience and welcome. And your background is awesome.
Hi, Daniel. How you
Hi,
doing?
Richard.
Good evening from Nigeria.
Nice.
Lagos, Nigeria. You're right. I just wanted to just give a rundown on my process currently on the I-130. I and my wife, right? We are filed, and we're done with the USCI stage, and we've moved from the USC stage to the NVC. We have made the payment. We have made all the payments and uploaded all our documents. We are currently waiting. So I'm just kind of wary though, but I'm just trying to trace back to when we started the K1. We did the K1. We didn't go through on the K1, and then we started the I-130. We got married and again in Lagos, Nigeria, and then we did all the documentation. But is there in any way is that going to affect when it's time for the interview? I know they have the records of everything, but is that going to affect in any way?
But when you say we didn't go through with the K1, what does that mean?
So we were denied. Yeah, we were denied for the K1.
Why?
Yeah. The reason, I think it was just an awkward reason, something about labor. I think I read the white paper, the blue paper, something about labor, and so I'm like, this is a word written. No, it was not something reasonable. I'm like, this was something reasonable, but I think some of the questions the guy asked, this is way back in 2019. Some of the question he asked was around when was the last time she visited and when was the last time we saw ourselves. I think we saw ourselves just once before the application for the K1, then the interview. Yeah.
So yeah, so probably basically they just thought you guys didn't carry your burden of showing that this was a real relationship.
Okay.
And so how much time before you filed the F1, how much when you said she came your spouse came for one visit, how long were they in the United States or in Nigeria for
So
that visit?
she stayed for 3 weeks. She stayed for 3 weeks.
And then she went home and filed the I-129F.
Yeah.
Have you, Richard, ever been to the United States before?
No, but I have applied for the B1, B2 visiting visa. Yeah.
Yep.
I've done.
Is there anything? Is there anything in that visit visa application that you're worried about, or that you think might lead to trouble for you? Like, was there anything in there that wasn't true? I guess.
No. The interesting part is everything was consistent. My date of birth, where I work, which I'm still currently in that same place where I work. Everything was there. My income, everything was there. My dad's date of birth, my mom's date of birth, everything is there. So basically nothing changed up to now. Even when we filled the DS-260, when we did it, everything was still consistent. Nothing changed. Still the same thing.
So your spouse came over once before you filed, and then she came back over and you got married, right?
Yes. So we got married in 2020.
Is it a total of 2 trips then to the United States or to Nigeria?
So it's a total of 4 trips now. 4 trips.
Good.
She's coming in this year in October for a 2-year anniversary. So it makes it the fifth trip.
Good. Okay. So, I mean, in my mind, and advice that I've given to clients before, when faced with a K1 denial, I do think that in a lot of ways, they feel they have more discretion to deny a K1 than they do an I-130. In other words, that, sort of like they say, well, let's see what happens if we deny Richard his fiance visa. Does that American lady just go away, or do they demonstrate their seriousness by getting married and filing I-130? To me, if she's been over 4 or 5 times, and you guys are still pushing, then I think that's good. So I don't think it's going to hurt you too much. What I was worried is that you were sort of saying that the F1 was just sort of left to sort of die there and you didn't really follow up. That's a problem.
No.
But if there was an actual...
I've never done an F1 before. I don't even know what's an F1.
I meant the fiance. Sorry, the K1.
Okay, K1.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So if you so in my mind, you're doing basically what they want you to do, which is to demonstrate your seriousness by going ahead and getting married. So I think you're okay.
All right. Okay. Cool. Yeah. We're just waiting to get documentary qualified. I don't know how long it takes. I think from what I read, it's around 3 to 4 months before
Yeah, and
that happens.
then Nigeria is really really slow right now, and they're suspicious of every man trying to come to America from Nigeria.
All
You,
right,
you got
man.
a lot of you got a lot of things going against you, but I don't think the fiance case is going to hurt.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Okay. That's just what I wanted to inquire. I just wanted to get that perspective why I prepare myself for that time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good luck, Richard.
Thanks
All
so
right.
much,
Thanks a lot.
Richard, for coming on.
Thanks, Daniel. All right.
Yeah, take care.
Yeah.
All right. Good questions there, Jim.
Yep.
All right. Martha, hello to you. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for your time. So my husband is an American citizen. We got married in Mexico 2018. He's paying child support, so we decided like we cannot apply for a visa at the moment because we needed a sponsor. So he was living here around 9 months, and COVID made things complicated. He went back. I got a tourist visa. This visa expired last year, and I had my new visa. I went to visit my husband. So the question here is, I'm planning on visiting my husband this year. Can can we apply for adjustment of status if we use our marriage certificate from Mexico, or do we have to get married in the States?
No, if you're legally married, if you're legally married and anyone asks you, "Are you married?" you have to say yes. So that's one thing about getting a visit visa or coming to visit is that you're now married to a U.S. citizen, so that makes it a little bit harder. But yeah, you would not need to get remarried again in the United States.
Oh, okay. So if I take my marriage certificate, do I have to translate it by myself, or do I have to have
It
a
has to be
notary?
any document that you want to submit to USCIS has to be translated. You can translate it, but somebody else has to certify the translation. You can't certify the translation because you're one of the people involved
Okay.
in the relationship. So you could, but you just need someone who says, "My name is Daniel. I'm fluent in English and Spanish, and this is a valid translation of the Spanish marriage certificate."
Oh, okay. That sounds really, really good. Thank you.
Yeah, now Martha, the only other thing is remember, you can't have immigrant intent. Like if you come on a visit visa, you can't like apply right away. You can't, the only way you can apply while you're here is if you decide while you're here. If you have that intent when you come through, that's a problem. But if you change your mind once you're here and say, "Boy, I'm tired of being separated from my husband. I'm just going to apply for adjustment," then that would be okay. But you can't have that intent when you come through.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Thanks. Thank you.
Have a good day, Martha.
Thanks,
Bye.
Martha.
Bye.
Very nice
All
lady.
right. Very nice. All right, Cameron, welcome. How can we help you, please?
Well, so I applied for my I-130, submitted it. I'm doing a embassy, the consular process because I live in Colombia with my wife. And so I filed the paperwork August 31st. On January 6th, received the notice that it's under review, active review. What do you think the time frame is for the next step?
So probably about a year for the I-130, and then probably a year for the consular processing. A year total for USCIS. So you're probably getting pretty close. When was the last time, Cameron, that you lived in the United States?
What, 2018?
Yeah, and was that the last time you've been here, or have you been back to visit?
Oh, no. I came back to vote and then come back for a few other things. I mean, I come back occasionally.
And you paid taxes?
When I make income, yes, of course.
Do you own property in America? Like, do you have a formal address?
No.
Yeah, so I think you're gonna have a hard time later on. You're gonna want to reestablish your domicile in the United States. So you're going to want to come back. What address did you use for the I-130?
The one like my brother's address.
Yeah, so that's okay. You can use that, but you want to have a driver's license. And as far as your taxes, if you haven't filed your tax returns for each of the last 3 years, that's going to slow down your case. Even if you have zero income, you need to file a tax return. Because when you get to the National Visa Center, you'll probably need a co-sponsor, but you need to have $0 tax returns even if you have no income.
Yeah, because I've basically had no reported income to the IRS.
Yeah, so they use that against you, and they use the opportunity of you sponsoring your spouse as a way to force you to file tax returns.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I mean, I would be able to, when the time comes, to present sufficient income with the tax filing to cover the requirements for minimum income.
How are you gonna do that?
With a 1090. That's from my partner.
If you're filing adjusted gross income that shows zero to the IRS, but then you want to tell the USCIS that you have income, how's that going to work?
Well, I would get a 1090 that shows I earned income. For the calendar year 2022, I will be able to show income with a 1099 filing.
You need 3 years of tax returns and 3 years of income. 1 year isn't going to cut it.
Oh yeah. Dang.
Yeah, you can't tell one federal agency one thing and another federal agency another thing.
No, that's not going to work, is it? So is that? But that would be an issue at the NVC, or would that be where I am?
Not where you are now. It's at the next stage.
Okay.
But I would start using this time now to get that shit cleared up, because once you get there, you want to have those 3 years of tax returns, and you probably want to have a co-sponsor lined up. Otherwise, you're going to lose a bunch of time then when you get there.
Okay. So it looks like I need to get some tax filings done rather rapidly. Yep. And then
you got time. You probably got 3 or 4 months, but yeah, you got time.
So you think that when do you think it'll move to the NBC from the January 6th review date from?
So my good friend Vadim in Boston says actively reviewed means sitting on a shelf. So you can't view anything into that. I just go based off the 1 year of what they're processing. So I'd say 1 year after you file it, then you get sent to the National Visa Center.
So the filing date was August 31st. So your thought is sometime August or September to the NBC.
Yep. And then probably 8 or 9 months at NBC. That's why you want to make sure you have your stuff ready. So no delay on your part, all delay on their part.
Okay. All right. Gents, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Cool, man. See ya.
Bye-bye.
All right. Those are from Cameron from Columbia.
Thanks, Jim. How you feeling? We're running about close to 5 o'clock here.
One more. Let's do one more, Daniel.
All right. Mr. Nelson, bring it home for us. What's your question, please?
Hi. Hey, thank you. Thanks for taking my call. I called you about last year at this time. I came to Brazil with a 601A approved. I went for my interview. I had a problem with misrepresentation. And then I applied for 601. I just got my visa last week. After they sent, after the USCIS sent the paperwork to the Brazilian consulate, took about not even a month to get everything squared away. And I thank you for your call. I love your show. You do a great job for us immigrants. I really like your show. And I appreciate you guys very much.
Thank you, Nelson.
And if I could give one advice to people immigrating, they should get a lawyer that knows what he's doing. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Nelson. Have a great night. What a great way to end the show.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
See you, buddy.
All right.
Well, that made my day.
Smile there.
I mean, that's good news. He got a 601 approved in about 11 months. So that's pretty good. And that's pretty fast. So congrats, Nelson. Welcome to America. Let us know when you get here. Come back on and let us know how long it took for your green card to arrive. I'll be back tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel, 4 p.m. Central. Don't forget the Instagram challenge. Romel will post that maybe one more time. I will be back tomorrow. Daniel will be on assignment. Daniel will be with us on Thursday at 1. So today, 4 o'clock tomorrow and 1 o'clock on Thursday. Last thing is, we are at 489 reviews for our main website. If you have time and can go to reviewhackinglaw.com, you can leave us a quick review. That'll get us up to 500. That's the goal. So we're going to do something special when we hit 500, probably right around the time that we have our 200th episode. Daniel, it's been fun. I enjoy the show so much more when you're on than when I'm by myself. So thanks for being here.
Well, thanks, Jim. I have a great time with you. And I'll see you on Thursday. And thanks, everyone, for being here.
Yeah, and we should give a shout out to Romel, man. He was holding forth in the comments today. That was very active participation by Romel. So thank you very much, buddy.
Yeah,
and we'll see everybody tomorrow.
Bye.